Hello dear students, good morning to all of you. In the last video lecture session, we started unit number 3, right? And in this video lecture, I continue with the unit number 3, part 2. Okay, so let's start it. In the last video lecture session, you learn about the how to format group, right? And what are the, we can say, process is considering whenever you have to format the group, right? And here in this video lecture session, first topic is the theory of group formation. Then after, what are the types of groups, and then after you can learn about the methods for the decision making. Okay, so let's start. First topic is the theories of group formation. What are the theories of group formation? So let's see. First theory is to be a first theory is the general construction theory, is a general contribution theory. This theory is about the human behavior. So this theory is to be a generalized theory, and it's totally based on the human based theory. It need to be a socialized as per the theory is an individual affiliated with the one another, because it's to be a geographical proximity. So it's the chance of the meeting and the interacting with the each other due to the nearest and the proximates is to be a leads the informal group formation. So it's a generally group are formed on the basis of some common platform of the race, like the religion, then the domicile, ideology. So under this theory, they have to basis consider that the physical nearness to be each other is to be should be considered as the who are near to each other is necessary for the forming of the group. So moreover, this theory is analyzed, and we can say that fails to explain the complexity improving between the interpersonal relations. So this theory is totally based on the theory of the interpersonal relation. They have to only focus that all over, we can say, in the organization, whenever they have to work, at that time they have to meet each other, right? So if there are the good relation between them, so it's considered as only basis of the good relation. They have to be only focus the formation of group. They cannot consider any controversy and complicacy in the interpersonal relationship between the employee and employer. Second one is the Homane's theory is developed by George C. Homane in 1950. So according to him, the group is formed in the terms of three elements: activities, interaction, and sentiments. So the relationship among the three elements are direct to be a one increase and other vice versa. So the activities is include to attending to work, assembling the machines, inspecting the components. So this all are considering activities. In the basis of activities, if they have to given the particular work to the particular group, right? So they have to be doing this type of activity in the group formation. કોઈને પણ એક્ટિવિટી જે છે, કોઈ ટાસ્ક આપવામાં આવ્યો છે અને એકથી વધારે એમ્પ્લોઈઝ છે, તો એને ટાસ્ક જો સેમ આપવામાં આવે છે, તો એ લોકો જે છે અકોર્ડિંગ ટુ એક્ટિવિટી એ લોકોનું એક ગ્રુપ બનશે. સેકન્ડ છે ઇન્ટરેક્શન. So interaction means what? Interaction is among the members is continuous in the form of verbal and non-verbal. So they have to continuously doing the we can say that value of the other people, opinion of the other people's, right? So these all are considered in the Homane's theory. Then after, third one is the balance theory. This theory is developed by the Theodore Newcomb in 1961, and it's developed the balancing in the attractions among the group member. So the similarity is maintained to dealing with the common goal and the related issues. So this cohesion needs to be an increase in the group, and so the group activities are concluded for the cooperative and the coordinate manner. So they have to be a high degree balance to reduce like the gap and overlap activities. In case of imbalancing, the relationship is to be a broken. So in the balance theory, they have to totally focus on the work and their interpersonal relation. If they have to not doing the good work, then they have to be consider the overlapping work. Means what? જો એ લોકો વચ્ચે અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ નહીં હશે, ઇન્ટરપર્સનલ રિલેશનમાં. તો શું થશે કે ઘણીવાર જે વર્ક આપવામાં આવ્યું છે એ ડબલ વખત થશે, સો ઓવરલેપિંગ કહેવાય એને, અને જેના કારણે કંપનીને જે છે, ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનને જે એ નુકસાન પણ થાય છે. અને જો અટેન્ડ નહીં કરે, બરાબર છે, અટેન્શન નહીં હશે તો ઓવરલેપિંગ થશે, જેના કારણે જે છે એ કહેવાય કે અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ થશે અને ઘણીવાર ઇન્ટરપર્સનલ રિલેશન છે એ બ્રોક થતા હોય છે, તૂટતા હોય છે. Then after fourth theory is the exchange theory. This exchange theory is developed by the Tribute Callis. So it's developed in 1959. There are the two elements of this exchange rate. Exchange are considered as the cost and outcome. The outcome tends to be a higher than the cost and giving the contributory pressure to team member and increase the productivity to organization. So along with the monetary cost and other costs are composed to be like frustrations, embarrassment, and the effort for to reduce them. In this theory, they have to totally focus on the production, and they have to try to reduce the cost of the particular production, and they have to totally focus on the physical production and the job satisfaction and the social contribution between the employee and between the group. Okay. Then after, what are the types of group and what are the roles of group? So if in your examination, if they have to ask what are the types of group, then you should write this. And if they have to ask what are the group in the organization and what are the role of the groups in the organization, so you should write this. First one, there are based on formality. On the formality, there are the mainly two types, formal group and informal group. Formal group, there are the group are, we can say, they have to form through the process of decision making. There are the authorized CEO, then authorized CEO person, and they have to be we can say appoint the managers, then manager appoint the laborer. So this all are considered on the base of formality. ઓકે, સો ફોર્મલ ગ્રુપ જે છે એ રૂલ્સ અને રેગ્યુલેશન જે ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનના છે એના દ્વારા બનાવવામાં આવે છે. ઇન્ફોર્મલ ઇન્ફોર્મલ ગ્રુપ્સ આર વી કેન સે રિઝલ્ટ ફોર ધ સોશિયલાઇઝેશન પ્રોસેસ. દેર આર ધ હ્યુમન બીંગ પ્રિફર ટુ બી live in the group and society, so they have to be make some common, we can say, if they have to be a common characteristics, then they have to make some common groups, and there are the informal groups. Okay. Then after, based on permanent membership, so first one is a primary group. So primary group is a very small group and which remains constant, and we can say contact with each other. Like example, there are the family, you have to residing in the home, then the students, they have to staying in the hostel room, then co-travelers. So there are the primary group, and such group can also be non-localized. Example, the member of the political party staying far away from each other, though they have to be a constant contact to each other, right, through the social medias, through the media of communication. So they are considered as the primary group. Then after, the coalitions group, these groups are considered the primary group. It's also known as the federations, where the primary group have to be a local impact and the membership in the poor in effectiveness. So these political parties, and they have to continue a contact and establish the major forming of the governments. These all groups are developed here, be a stronger group than the primary group. So it's considered as a coalition group. Then after, based on the permanency of the activity, so there are the temporary group and the permanent group. So temporary group, so in organization sometimes they have to make a temporary group for the for achieving some task and some, we can say, goal, right? So at that time they have to be make some group, and after the completion of task, this group cannot be exist, right? So these groups are called the temporary group. કે જે ગ્રુપ કોઈ એક ટાસ્ક પૂરું કરવા માટે બનાવવામાં આવે છે, જેવો એ ટાસ્ક કમ્પ્લીટ થાય છે એટલે ગ્રુપ જે છે એનું કામ કમ્પ્લીટ થાય છે. Permanent group itself stated there are the, we can say, permanent in nature, and they have to be in the repetitive nature, and they have to be a permanent group. Like example, there are to be a standing committee, loan committee, managing committee, board of director committee. So these all are considered as the permanent group because they have to take the we can say that very political and very we can say very basic decision of the organization, right? Then after, on the other basis, there are the command group. Command group is considered as a group which give the command to their subordinates. There are the managers, experts, project experts. These all are considered as the command group. Then after task group means there are this group have to form for special task, for the special project, so it's called as a task group. In this task group they have to given we can say responsibility and authority according to the, we can say there are the eligibility of the subordinates and manager. According to that they have to given the responsibility and authority to each other. Then after interest group is a person who have to some common interest and common sake of like primary group, and they have to after that they have to protect their common interest in the group, so they have to consider as the group formation for the necessary because they have to be a common interest, so it's considered as a interest group. Then after friendship group are formed for the promotion of some common interests. There are the hobbies, your we can say that hobbies, common welfare, friend circle, study circle. Then after various types of we can say clubs are all are considered like your alumni association, all are considered as your friendship group. Okay. Then after the role of group in the organization, what are the role that have to given in the group? First one, there are the task role. Okay, task role means what? In this particular task role, the member have to understand the group objective, and then after they have to be a complete their objective and solve the group problems of the members and perform the task accordingly, right? And they have to invite the opinions, give the suggestions, and according to that they have to be doing their we can say opinion sharing, experience sharing, and according to that they have to take the right decision for the organization, so it's called as a task role. Okay, I hope you understand about it. Then after social roles. Okay, social roles means what? So social role there have to be a consider as the recognition and the appreciate the contribution of the group in the encourage and motivate the group in the future. We can say for they have to doing some social activities, they have to be doing some higher promotion of the organization, so they can easily we can say achieve their organizational objectives. Then after decision roles, in this decision role they have to accept the board, so it's considered as the appropriate decision for the particular task. Higher management have to decide this type of decision role. Higher management have to consider the CEO, then managers, right? So this all are considered in the decision roles. Okay. In the decision role they have to be considered create environment. In this they have to increase the we can say developing and continuously focus on the group decision, so they can easily take the right decision at the right time. Then after positive roles. Okay, positive roles means what? To accelerate the speed of the group and work, they have to try to economical use of the resources in the group. To eliminate the imposes and well-knit small group, they have to be doing some positive activities. If they have to malpractices it doing in the organization, they have to try to reduce this type of malpractices and easily take the right role and the right position in the group. So they have to develop and maintain the divide the responsibility, and according to responsibility they have to be a attitude, their attitude not we can say self they cannot self-center, they have to be doing work for the everybody. That's why they have to call the positive roles. Okay. Then after the group formation theory, second topic is the group dynamics. It's a very important topic. So let's see. A group consists of the two or more individuals related to each other by the following the accepting the norms and sharing the values. So the basis of group formation is attainment of some common interest which they are to be we can say they are unable to attain individually. ગ્રુપ શું કામ બનાવવામાં આવે છે કે કોઈ એક વ્યક્તિ એ અચીવ ન કરી શકે કોઈ ઓબ્જેક્ટિવ, એના માટે એકથી વધુ લોકો જે છે ગ્રુપ બનાવે છે કે જેથી એ કોમન ગોલ અચીવ થઈ શકે. Interacting with each other for its accomplishment and keep each other informed about the work, so is coordinated effort. Through this, avoiding this gap and overlaps, if any, there are the Stephen Robbins is defined as a group dynamic means what? A group defined as the two or more individual interacting and interdependency who have to be come together and achieve a particular objective. So it's called the group. Okay. Then Kathy Davis has defined that a social process by which people interested to interact face to face in the small group is called the group dynamics. So there are the definition of group dynamics. Group dynamic means what? It's a one type of social process in which there are the number of people have to interact face to face, and they have to be consider one small group. So it's called as a small group dynamics. Then Kruth-Levins also define this group dynamics. The terms of group dynamics is refers to the complex of the force that to be determine the group formation, its size, its structure, conflicts and changes, cohesiveness, interaction and behavior. So it's all are considered as a group dynamics. Group dynamics છે એમાં એમણે ગ્રુપના ફોર્મેશનથી લઈને ગ્રુપની વચ્ચે કોઈ કોન્ફ્લિક્ટ્સ ક્રિએટ થાય છે, ગ્રુપની સાઇઝ, ગ્રુપનું સ્ટ્રક્ચર, ગ્રુપમાં આવતા ચેન્જીસ, ઇન્ટરેક્શન, બિહેવિયર કેવું છે, એ ટોટલી જે છે એનાલિસિસ એ ગ્રુપ ડાયનેમિક્સમાં કર્યો છે. What are the characteristics of group dynamics? So first characteristics of the group dynamics is to interpersonal relation in the formally formed in the informally developed by the human group. કે ફોર્મલી એ લોકો વચ્ચે ઇન્ટરપર્સનલ રિલેશન ફોર્મલી ડેવલપ કરવામાં આવે છે, પછી ઇનફોર્મલી હ્યુમન ગ્રુપ ડેવલપ કરે છે, ઇનફોર્મલ રિલેશન. સેકન્ડ વન, the group member interact with the each other face to face, so it's called the group dynamics, right? Third one, group has the common objective with the act as the bonding elements for the group member. કે ગ્રુપ મેમ્બર વચ્ચે એક સારો બોન્ડિંગ રિલેશન જે છે એ હોય છે, જેના કારણે કોમન ઓબ્જેક્ટિવ એ આપણે અચીવ કરી શકીએ છીએ. Then after the forms of interaction may be agreement, disagreement, conflict and the compromise, adjustments are all are considered as the interaction. કે interaction છે એ interaction form ગમે રીતે હોઈ શકે, agree પણ હોય, disagree પણ હોય, conflicts પણ create થઈ શકે. Then the coordinated activities in the cohesive group and the generate the value of a high than the sum of the value effects. So such values are shared among the group member. કે ગ્રુપ મેમ્બર વચ્ચે કન્ટિન્યુઅસલી જે છે એ વાત જે છે એ શેર થતી રહેતી હોય છે. In a groups, the goals are the common, but the process to achieve these goals is different due to the perspectual difference and the among the members. So, however, this group dynamics is strives to be a settle and such difference through the deliberate and the brainstorming exercise, because different people have the different types of opinions, right? At that time, they have to face this type of conflicts. Then after, the concept of group dynamics is a recent origin. It was developed by the Kruth-Levin in 1930. So group dynamics is an important and the critical area of the study in the organizational behavior. A group is the technically differ from the team. So in the term we can say in the team there are the limited member and the team have to contribute individually unlike the collectively in the group. So in the team they have to be a work as the we can say very enthusiastically, and they have to be a perform according to their efficiency and the capability. Then what are the desirable characteristics of group member? Whenever you have to working in the group, then what type of characteristic you should we can say you should have some expectation regarding your group member. So first one is a increasing willingness to work. કે તમારા જે પણ ગ્રુપ મેમ્બર છે એ કન્ટિન્યુઅસલી તમારી સાથે વર્ક કરે છે, તો એનો મેઇન ઓબ્જેક્ટિવ તમારો એવો હોવો જોઈએ કે તમારા વર્કને વિલિંગનેસ જે છે કામ કરવાની જે ઈચ્છા છે એમાં વધારો થાય. સેકન્ડ વન ઇઝ અ ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી સીઝિંગ, કે જે પણ ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી મળે છે એને તરત જ તમે અચીવ કરી લેવા જોઈએ. થર્ડ વન, લોંગ જોબ ટેન્યોર, કે તમે જે જોબ જે તમને પરફોર્મન્સ આપ્યું છે, જે ટાસ્ક આપ્યું છે એ લાંબા સમય સુધી તમે કરી શકતા હોવા જોઈએ. ઓનર ટુ કંપનીઝ પોલિસી એન્ડ પ્રોસિજર, કે કંપનીની જે પણ પોલિસી અને પ્રોસિજર છે એને ઓનરેબલી એને માનવું જોઈએ, રિસ્પેક્ટ કરવી જોઈએ. Then image building, you have to build your image, your characteristic and your we can say character. Then after, maintain of the ethical standard, without we can say that unethical work કે જેનાથી કંપનીને કોઈ નુકસાન થાય છે, સેલ્ફ સેન્ટર થઈને કોઈ પણ ડિસિઝન લેવું ન જોઈએ. એમ્પ્લોય કમિટમેન્ટ, કે પોતાનું જે કમિટમેન્ટ જે એમણે આપ્યું છે એ કમ્પ્લીટ કરવું જોઈએ. એમ્પ્લોય ઇન્વોલ્વમેન્ટ, કે એમ્પ્લોય જે છે એઝ એન એમ્પ્લોય જે પણ એને વર્ક આપવામાં આવે છે તો એ કન્ટિન્યુઅસલી એમને જે છે એ સપોર્ટ થ્રુ જે છે એ કમ્પ્લીટ કરવું જોઈએ. પાર્ટિસિપેશન ઇન ધ ડિસિઝન, કે ડિસિઝન લેવામાં જે બી ડિસિઝન લેવાના છે તો એક ગ્રુપ મેમ્બર તરીકે એમને એસ્કેપ ન થવું જોઈએ, એમાં પાર્ટિસિપેટલી ડિસિઝન લેવું જોઈએ. એમિકેબલ રિએક્શન વિથ ધ જુનિયર, કે જુનિયર આ કોઈ જે છે ગ્રુપમાં છે તો એની સાથે વિથ રિસ્પેક્ટ વાત કરવી જોઈએ, એની સાથે જે છે એમિકેબલ એકદમ હમ્બલ જે છે એમનું બિહેવિયર હોવું જોઈએ. રેકોગ્નાઇઝ ધ હાયર ગોલ્સ, કે જે નવા મોટા જે ગોલ જે છે એને હંમેશા અચીવ કરવા માટે રેડી રહેવું જોઈએ. Prevents drugs and abuse. This we can say factor is affected for the lower level workers, because sometimes they have to be considered as a frustration. At that time they have to be consume drugs like tobacco, then after drink. So this all are considered in the, we can say, they have to be a sometimes this impact and we can say a harmfulness for the person also and a harmfulness for the group member also. So they have to be prevent this type of, we can say, products, right? Then absence of the whistleblowing means what? In organization sometimes they have to doing the malpractices. So in malpractices you cannot, we can say, doing this type of malpractices, it's always harmful for the organization and harmful for the person also, right? Then group decision making process. So there are the group decision making process. First one, there are the identification of the problem. First one, you have to identify your problem. What is the problem? Then after you have to identify, like in the group whenever you work, at that time you have to identify what is the problem you have to suffer in the organization. In the second step, you have to develop the alternative solution. If you have to face any problem, then what are the solution of that? You have to consider the various type of alternative. Then after, evaluate each alternative and select the best alternative. Then after, you have to select the best alternative among the various alternative and select the best alternative according to the basis of your organization. Then implementation and the selection of alternative. Then after, you have to implement with whatever alternative you have to select, right? This is the fourth step, we can say, consider in the group decision making process. Then after, group decision making techniques. So first technique is a brainstorming. Brainstorming is a one type of group decision making technique. So let's see. One distinctive feature of a human resource as the compared to other non-human resources is that they possess the creativity ability. So such creativity can also develop in organization from to advantage to organization. So this process of popularly known as the brainstorming. Brainstorming in the large group decision making can be managed as under. First one, to create an environment under which group will be provoked to develop their creativity and innovative idea. કે સૌથી પહેલાં એવું એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ક્રિએટ કરવું જોઈએ કે જેથી ગ્રુપના મેમ્બર જે છે એ સિક્યોર ફીલ કરે, ક્રિએટિવ અને ઇનોવેટિવ આઈડિયા જે છે એ પોતે આપી શકે. સેકન્ડ વન, to provide such roles and individual group member which generate the, we can say, nourish and creativity. So you have to provide such a roles. If any person have the different skill, then you have to provide the support to them, right? Then third one, to analyze the synthesis size and earliest innovative ideas through the providing the scope of further researches. Then કોઈ રિસર્ચ છે, કોઈ ઇનોવેટિવ આઈડિયા છે તો એના માટે જે પણ ફિનાન્શિયલ નોન ફિનાન્શિયલ જે બી સપોર્ટ છે એ આપવું જોઈએ. Fourth one, to regular and the criticize and critical destructive attitude to the group member through the developing the positive attitude. કે કોઈ ક્રિટિકલ કોન્ફ્લિક્ટ્સ ક્રિએટ થાય છે ગ્રુપની મેમ્બરની વચ્ચે, તો એ મેમ્બર વચ્ચે જો ગ્રુપ જે છે એ ડેવલપ થયા હોય કોઈ કોન્ફ્લિક્ટ્સ, તો એને રિડ્યુસ કરવા જોઈએ અને પોઝિટિવ એટીટ્યુડ ડેવલપ કરવો જોઈએ. Then after brainstorming, second type is the nominal group. Under this method, group decision making, various nominal groups of the employees working in the, we can say, some common areas are formed. So any issue or the problems is possessed before them, so they have to do a discussion. So this discussion, analysis and decision. So each nominal group have to deliberate over the issues, arrive at some solution. In the nominal group, they have to be a make some group, right? કે એમાં એક ગ્રુપ બનાવવામાં આવે. જે ડિસિઝન છે એ ડિસિઝન લેવા માટે સૌથી પહેલાં ડિસિઝન જે પ્રોબ્લેમ છે એને રિગાર્ડિંગ ડિસ્કશન કરવામાં આવે, બધાના ઓપિનિયન લેવામાં આવે અને અકોર્ડિંગ ટુ ઓપિનિયન એ લોકો ડિસાઇડ કરે છે કે કયા ગ્રુપ જે છે મેમ્બર છે અને એમના પાસેથી કયું સોલ્યુશન મળે છે અને જે બેસ્ટ સોલ્યુશન છે એને એપ્લિકેબલ કરવામાં આવે છે. આફ્ટર બ્રેઇનસ્ટોર્મિંગ એન્ડ નોમિનલ ગ્રુપ, થર્ડ ટોપિક ઇઝ ડેલ્ફી મેથડ. Delphi is the noun of the city in an old Greece. So this town has become an important historical because intelligent people of this time used to meet a regularly interval for the deliberate over the some time, we can say contemporary issues, and will decide on it. So the mode of group decision making tends to either a conscience and the pulling on the individual opinion. ડેલ્ફી જે છે એ ગ્રીસનું એક હિસ્ટ્રી છે, એમાં એક વિલેજ જે છે એનું નામ ડેલ્ફી હતું, જેમાં ઇન્ટેલિજન્ટ લોકો જે છે એ લોકો એવું વિચારે છે કે સમ ટાઈમ ગેપ વચ્ચે જે છે તમારે એક મિટિંગ કરવી જોઈએ. સો અકોર્ડિંગ ટુ દેટ બેસિસ દે વુડ બી અ કન્ટિન્યુઅસલી કોન્ટેક્ટ વિથ ઈચ અધર, રાઈટ. કે ગ્રુપ મેમ્બર છે તો એને ડેલ્ફી મેથડ એટલા માટે અપનાવવી જોઈએ કે ગમે ત્યારે કોઈ સિચ્યુએશન ક્રિએટ થાય તો એ પહેલાં જ એક કન્ટિન્યુઅસલી ઇન્ટરવલ, રાઈટ, કે ઘણા ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન છે તો એમાં મંથલી, ઘણામાં ડેઇલી, મંથલી, વીકલી એવી રીતે મિટિંગ્સનું પ્લાનિંગ હોય છે કે જેના દ્વારા કન્ટિન્યુઅસલી ગ્રુપ મેમ્બર કોન્ટેક્ટમાં રહે અને રાઇટ ડિસિઝન લઈ શકે. દેન ફોર્થ વન ઇઝ અ dialectical decision making. So this method of group making decision is based on the philosophies developed by the philosopher like the Plato and Aristotle. So under this method they have to be divide the group into the two things. First one, to provide the least two solution to problem, not provide the various alternatives, they have to only provide the two solution. They also ask to state a assumption under which have to be arrived at the decision. Then second topic, they have also developed the payoff analysis and deriving the net effect for the each alternative solution. કે બે જ એનાલિસિસ આપવા જોઈએ અને જે એનાલિસિસ આપવામાં આવે છે એમાં એના ઉપર ડિસ્કશન કરવું જોઈએ, અઝમ્પશન ક્રિએટ કરવું જોઈએ અને કઈ ઇફેક્ટ આવશે, અલ્ટરનેટ ઇફેક્ટ અને અલ્ટરનેટ સોલ્યુશન છે એ રેડી રહેવું જોઈએ. Last topic regarding this video lecture is the team building. So what is meaning of that? Definition of team building. Team building is a process for the tuning a group of an individual and contributing employees into the cohesive team. So what are the, we can say, characteristics of team? A team is a group of limited member. Example like the sports team. Okay. Second one, a team has a leader. Is determined by the outside authority or selected from among the member. ટીમ હોય એમાં લીડર હોય, ગ્રુપ હોય તો એમાં લીડર ન હોય, બરાબર છે. સો ટીમમાં જે લીડર છે એને ગ્રુપના મેમ્બર દ્વારા અથવા તો કોઈ બહારની ઓથોરિટી છે એના દ્વારા એને ઓથોરિટી આપવામાં આવી હોય, એને એક ટીમ મેમ્બરના જે છે લીડર બનાવવામાં આવ્યા હોય. In the team effort, every member is considered his individual role and the best contribution for attaining the goal. કે ટીમ છે એમાં લોકો 100% પોતાનું કહેવાય કે એફિશિયન્સી થ્રુ વર્ક કરે છે અને પોતાનું 100% આપે છે અને એફર્ટ જે છે એમાં 100% હોય છે, બરાબર છે. A team differ from the group in sense of the individual member has to be an individual responsibility for the team work and the group work is a collective manner. કે ટીમ છે તો એમાં એક એક પર્સનની ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ રિસ્પોન્સિબિલિટી હોય છે કે તમે ટીમમાં છે એ કેટલું કન્ટ્રીબ્યુટ કર્યું ટીમ વર્કમાં. જ્યારે ગ્રુપ છે તો એમાં કલેક્ટિવ ડિસિઝન હોય છે, એમાં કલેક્ટિવ મેનરમાં જે છે એ કોઈ પણ ડિસિઝન્સ અને કોઈ પણ વર્ક જે છે એ લેવામાં આવતું હોય છે, એમાં કોઈ ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ કોઈ પર્સનનું સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ ડિસાઇડ હોતું નથી. ઓકે. સો આ જે વિડીયો લેક્ચર છે એમાં તમે ગ્રુપની થિયરીઝ, ગ્રુપ ફોર્મેશનની થિયરીઝ જોઈ છે, દેન આફ્ટર ગ્રુપ ડાયનેમિક્સ, દેન આફ્ટર team building and what are the group we can say decision making techniques, right. So આ જે છે આટલા ટોપિક જે છે આ વિડીયો લેક્ચરમાં ડિસ્કસ કર્યા છે. નેક્સ્ટ જે વિડીયો લેક્ચર છે એ લાસ્ટ વિડીયો લેક્ચર હશે આપણા યુનિટ 3નો, જેમાં આપણે રિમેઇનિંગ 3 ટોપિક છે, કમ્યુનિકેશન, કંટ્રોલ એન્ડ જોહરી વિન્ડો. Okay, so you should prepare about it and if you find any query regarding any topic in this unit then you can contact me. Thank you.